Hey everybody, this is Chad Jordan from Sport Clips. This is another edition of our Hall of Fame podcast, and it's going to be a special one. We are filming this, and by the way, if you're on YouTube, hi. We are filming this in a Marriott in the Washington, D.C. area because last night Sport Clips hosted, it's called the Alethea Foundation. It's a dinner that this foundation puts on, I think almost every Friday of the year.
Every Friday.
And what the dinner is for, see if I get this right before I bring you on. The dinner is for wounded servicemen and women who are recovering at Walter Reed Hospital.
Yes, that's
okay?
correct.
All right. Yeah. And Sport Clips has the opportunity once a year to host this and sponsor this. So I got the chance. I was able to come out this year and join, sit down, mingle, schmooze, wait tables, get drink orders, especially for the person I'm talking to right now, and we just had a blast, and it was kind of a chance for everyone to get away from Walter Reed. The families are there. I sat at a table with the cutest kids in the world, and their parents, and it's just an amazing night. And so while we were there, we obviously struck up some friendships and some conversations, and I ran into who is now my favorite Sport Clips client. This gentleman that's with us today. So I'm going to have him go ahead and introduce himself, and then we're going to unpack his story a little bit, how he ended up at Walter Reed and the Army and all that kind of fun stuff. But before we get too far into it, why don't I have, can you go ahead and introduce yourself for me, please?
Yeah, my name's Taylor Clinker, from North Carolina, Charlotte to be exact. I enlisted in 2014.
Okay.
I'm 29 years old. So I was a late bloomer.
Okay, no kidding.
Yeah. Did the college scene straight out of high school.
Where?
At Clinker College.
Okay. It's not Duke University though, that's for sure. We established that already. It's not a Duke fan.
No, definitely a Tar Heel fan. So it's a liberal arts school, just actually about 10 miles from Darlington.
Okay, which you're gonna be. We're gonna see you in Darlington later.
So
we'll get
did
into that.
And then I don't know. I just kind of had like a change of heart. I had some buddies that were, in the Army, and college just wasn't really, I wasn't focused. So after my freshman year, I kind of bowed out, and I became an electrician for a year, and then I got laid off, and I was like, all right, I need some direction.
Right.
So I joined the Army.
And it's not a family background, no one...
My grandfather, who I never met, was in the Korean War.
Okay. In the Army or...?
No, Marines.
Okay,
okay. Probably, it is what it is.
He's turned over in his grave that you joined the Army. Well, what do you mean the Marines are there?
A lot of people don't understand this. You don't pick your job in the Marines.
Oh, okay.
The Army, you get to pick your job.
All right. That was more appealing, yeah.
Yeah.
So was it an electrician? What exactly... What did you do in the Army? What are you doing?
I'm in the infantry.
Okay.
I had a lot of offers of different stuff, but I wanted something that would be challenging, and I wanted to see if I could do it.
Right.
So that was kind of...
So you go to basic.
Mm-hmm.
You're a little older probably than some of the other guys.
I actually was 23 and I turned 24 in basic.
Anybody calling you grandpa?
No, my bunkmate was older than me. There was 4 or 5 of us in our platoon that were, the old heads, but we had to keep the young guys in check for sure.
And is it Fort Benning or where?
Yeah, it's Fort Benning.
Okay, so you're in Georgia.
Sand Hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if anybody's have you seen Band of Brothers?
Oh yeah.
Okay, and that's where I believe their training was supposed to be taking place, and
they did it. Yeah, I don't know the whole backstory, but there's a couple like that camp where they're running up the hill.
Yeah.
That's I don't know exactly where that is, but it's not by us. I think it may be up in the mountains, or I don't think that camp's really open. The Currahee or whatever.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm not
And I think the actors had to actually go through basic or do something to get into the feel of being a platoon.
Now at Fort Benning, that's where you do go to airborne school. So maybe they did something there.
Yeah.
I know. What is that movie with Mel Gibson? In Vietnam, a lot of that is filmed on Fort Bragg.
Okay.
We were soldiers.
We were soldiers. Yeah.
Yes, that was formed.
I would say Braveheart. No.
No.
All right. So okay. So you weren't a punk kid when you joined.
No.
You decided you did a little bit of college. The reason. So let's recap. One of the reasons you're my new favorite client. First of all, because we're at this event last night, everyone's calling us sports clips. And for those that are listening that are part of Sport Clips, there's no S. There's an S to start it and an S to end it. There's no S in the middle. It's Sport Clips, not Sports Clips. Anyways, you were one of the few people calling us Sport Clips, and so when I got to the bottom of it, your client. You knew all about the MVP. You actually given me some tips on, hey, here's some things you guys could, we won't get into that here, but especially you like the cold towel.
Oh yeah, summertime cold towel is a must, I think, for sure.
So we'll put that plug out there. If you're a store listening to this and you don't have a cold towel during the hot summer months, my favorite client, Taylor, is begging you to have that on hand because what it was Hawaii is when you really liked it, right?
Yeah, that's when they showed it to me, and I thought I was like, that's genius.
So shout out to HI 102. That's the Hawaii store that you would go to.
Yeah.
We discovered as we talked last night as well that I had just been there because this is a store that set the MVP record I was telling you about last night. 100 MVPs on a single client in a single visit. So I went out there to see them, their manager Kirsten, and that happened to be your kind of home.
Yeah, that was like home base.
Sport Clips for why you were stationed in. So let's say you went through basic infantry.
Yeah.
Is your immediate assignment the first place they send you to Hawaii? And you're like, what a rough life. I mean, this is.
I mean, honestly, it was like, so my last name is Clinker, so all the C's, us 12, so we were like bunk mates basically.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, we all got Hawaii.
What?
Yeah, and I denied airborne because I knew I was going to end up in Fort Bragg. I'm from North Carolina. I didn't really, I wanted to get away. I wanted to do something. So that's kind of why I just, kept at it. And I was lucky to get Hawaii, honestly.
Especially with your buds. I mean,
yeah,
that sounds like a lot of trouble brewing.
No, it wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad. I mean, as soon as we get there, they kind of have you on like, locked.
Right, yeah,
like,
okay. They know you're fresh, they don't want you doing anything too crazy.
A lot of guys will buy cars right when they get there, you know what I mean, just so they can get off post.
Right.
Because like Ubers and stuff, they're not allowed on post. Yeah. So a lot of guys will go and, like, the car dealership will come and pick you up on post.
Oh yeah, they're going to treat you like VIPs.
Yeah, exactly.
Sucker.
Yeah. So
no, that's awesome. So you so after Hawaii, what happens? Where do you go?
After Hawaii, I re-enlisted for 4 years.
So you did what, 3 in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I re-enlisted for 3 years, and I got Germany.
Okay. No, that would be Air Force Base. What?
It's called it's called Hohenfels.
All right.
It's in Bavaria. It's just about an hour north of Munich, in a small countryside.
Had you ever been to Europe?
Yes.
Okay.
When I was 18, when I was like 17, I was a foreign exchange student for Germany.
What? Oh my gosh.
I had a guy come over, and then he stayed with me.
Uh-huh.
And then I went over.
Crazy.
And I stayed with his family. It was really.
Did you look him up when you got back to Germany?
Oh yeah, we definitely.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, he's my buddy.
Yeah. So you had already known. I mean, Germany's great. I mean, I love Europe. Germany is amazing.
Yes.
So you go back there, and you're right where you belong.
Yeah, and Germany. The cool thing about Germany is it's like the centerpiece.
Yes.
Of Europe.
Exactly.
And so you can literally.
Yeah, you were getting down to Italy, probably Austria.
From Prague.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
Czech Republic. Yeah. Right.
That's like a day.
Yeah.
A day. Just hang out in Prague for a day. So a lot of people don't understand that. Like, from here to Charlotte, or from Fort Bragg from here is like 5.5 hours.
But there'd be a couple countries
I'd be in, like,
away.
Vienna.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah, Europe's amazing. So you have this. Man, you had like 2 dream assignments back to back. You're like the poster boy.
I worked my ass off for the Germany thing.
Okay.
I re-enlisted for that.
Okay.
That wasn't like by fluke. That was like,
I'll go
if you give me Germany.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay.
I tried to get Fort Bragg, but they weren't going to give it to me. I just had a shoulder labrum surgery, so they were like a little weary about sending me because it had been only like 9 months.
Right.
So I was like, well, I'll take Germany then.
Yeah.
If you're not going to send me, not because then I wanted to go kind of back home and do airborne, but I was like, oh, Germany.
You can get into airborne later?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of guys will go later. Some will go right at the beginning, but it's kind of a black hole. Once you're in, you're in.
Right.
And it's hard to get out.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So Germany, what goes on in Germany?
So Germany is like where I was is a.
Is it a staging base to get you to?
There's a lot of different. There's a lot that's going like a lot. I didn't even realize how many bases we have in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like a base that I worked on, which was where we train all the NATO, all of our troops that are incoming from all over, Europe basically,
Yeah.
and we are the bad guys,
Mm-hmm.
and we train them and we prep them.
You're trying to outmaneuver, outsmart.
We prep
right?
them. We
Yeah.
prep them for Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
They have these facilities here, but this one is mainly for some of the troops that are overseas that are visiting, and then mainly the NATO countries that go with us to Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria.
Right.
So, yeah, we just give them a hard shake,
Right.
basically. So
Try to outfox them.
yeah, it's
Taste
war
of what
games.
they're exactly.
War games.
Yep. So, do you ever from there deploy to?
I did
Mideast,
not.
Or?
So what I had a what would you call it? Once in a million injury.
You won the injury lottery? Oh, yeah. Is that what they tell you?
Yeah. So my doctor, who was like, I guess been a doctor for 30 years, he's like, I've never seen this injury in my life. Like, and I was like, oh gosh, that's not good. I was a big soccer enthusiast.
Yep.
So
Again, another reason you're one of my favorite clients.
I played soccer for a local league. Shout out Velberg. And none of them are watching.
Right. Yeah. No, they will. We'll get them. Uh-huh. You might have to say something in German to them, but
yeah. So they, I'd played it for a year now, and then I was going into. I played like a half a year basically because it takes a while to get your soccer license. It's like semi-pro.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like single A baseball kind of thing. Like it's not like, but it is a part of. They have like you can get promoted, demoted, like you can work,
relegation.
Relegations. Yep, they have all that. But it was the first game of my second season. I've been doing 2-a-days, and you got to think in mind like I'm doing this while I'm doing Army stuff.
Yes.
So like I'm
You're putting your body through it.
Yeah,
through the
like
max.
I'm putting my body through the ringer right now. Working out, all this stuff, and first game of the season, and basically I was running. It was a free kick. It was like 86th minute. It was tied 2-2, and I was standing like as part of the wall, basically outside of the box, and the guy kicks it over my head, and I instantly turn on the gas and go running into my box.
Yeah.
And I'm right winger.
Okay.
My right back is coming for the ball to kind of clear it, and I'm going after, trying to clear it too, because it was like very intense match, and probably one of my best games, to be honest, up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And my right back, I didn't see him, he didn't see me, and we collided knees, and he got me from the side.
Okay.
Okay.
And so your knee goes
My knee
away it's not
yeah.
supposed to go.
Yeah, so it's I have a pretty high pain tolerance. I thought I tore like my IT band.
Okay. Yep. So it's the outside.
It was the outside is where he caught it. I didn't hear a pop. I didn't hear anything. Nothing wild. I tried to walk on it, and it felt like my knee was rolling away, basically. So I went to the hospital like 2.5 hours later. They actually scored on us while I was like behind the goal getting worked on. So we ended up losing.
Because you're down a player.
Yeah, we ended up losing. I don't know if they subbed me off. I can't really remember, but yeah, I remember that they scored because I was like literally like off behind the goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so first game of the season, 86th minute, first, like, it was just bad.
You were that close
to just
not being injured
Yeah.
the way you were.
Yeah, so it's just
overseas, away from home.
So anyways, I finally go to the hospital. I had what's called a fractured fibular head.
Okay.
It's like the top of
that
your
bone.
fib.
Yeah.
Your fib, basically. Which I was like, okay, this sucks. 6 months, you know.
And when was this? What's the date?
It's actually almost a year to date.
Okay.
Probably had the surgery today. The injury happened July 20th.
Okay. Well, that's my birthday.
Yeah.
So
On
that's why you were having the game of your life.
Yeah,
because it was a lucky
Saturday.
day until.
Yeah. So I had
So July 20th, 2018.
Yeah. So I woke up in the hospital. I finally went to a German civilian hospital because our military hospital is in Landstuhl, which is on the border of France, which is like 4 hours away.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really feasible, you know, for emergencies to get over there unless I get like evac. Like,
was there like a blood clot? I mean, why did they have to do it so quickly? The surgery.
I woke up the next morning and I had what's called Compartment Syndrome.
Okay.
In my thigh. My thigh was like huge. And I was like, okay, this isn't good.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like I knew something was wrong. So like.
And is it hurting up there as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so they did an X-ray of my femur and. They're like, we gotta operate or you'll lose your leg. So I'm like, okay. So
at that point, you're probably freaking out.
Honestly,
like, what do you mean lose my leg? I'm a soccer player.
Honestly,
I'm in the army. I can't lose my leg.
No, I was very like, just like, okay, like this is not good, but I wasn't like freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
I was worried, but so they did the fasciotomy. That's what it's called.
Okay.
And drained.
A word you had never heard before until that day. Yeah.
Never heard before. And then they did that, and then about 3 days later, they did the knee surgery. They put some like screws in a plate, basically, in my knee, and I was like, all right, well, that's that. Well, about I don't know, like maybe a week later, it got infected. The metal didn't take or something, and they would go in and they'd have to clean it out, close it up, and they did that like three times.
The infection, is it giving you a fever?
No.
Like what's going on?
I think I did get a fever at one point in time, but it wasn't like I remember I had a headache and stuff, but it was more like blood, like stuff was like coming out of like the incisions, you know, like it wasn't good.
Your body wasn't taking it.
I was at the soccer game actually, watching my team play. You know, that like 2 weeks later, and they're like, "Oh, Taylor, you're bleeding."
Right.
You know, like, and that was my English-German accent.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It wasn't very good, but we'll keep working on it.
So, and I was like, "Oh crap, yeah." And so I went back, and then they cleaned it, and then I was like, "All right, this isn't good." You know, like they're not really doing anything. Like they're just doing the same thing over and over. So finally got on the phone with Landstuhl. That's the German hospital, and they went in there and they were like, all right, we need to keep you. So they did a surgery, and when they got in there, my whole outer muscle out here was dead.
From the infection?
From like I had compartment syndrome down there too.
Okay.
They had to remove that muscle. They had to
remove it?
Remove it. So they had to cut out this, I don't know what you would call this, the outside of your calf, basically your shin calf muscle. They had to cut that out. And then they put a bunch of antibiotic beads like in it, like big old marbles.
Okay.
I remember seeing that in the
Do
X-rays.
they dissolve or do they stay there?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think they just dissolve. Or maybe they had to take them out. I don't remember. I remember seeing them on the X-rays, and I was like, "Oh, okay, those are big." So that happened, and then I got evac to Walter Reed.
Okay, and Walter Reed, for those that don't know, that's kind of the hospital for recovering soldiers of really any type of severe injury.
Oh yeah.
They get brought there. So. You get brought, and Walter Reed is in Bethesda, Maryland.
Yes. Yeah.
So Washington D.C. area.
Yeah, it's just outside of D.C. really on the Maryland side.
So when is this? By the time they bring you, is it August?
I evac'd September.
September, okay.
20th. I got there, and I was still fighting this infection. They said that the infection, it's something out of Afghanistan. I don't know where I got it. I don't know how I got it. It was bad. I was on like Mancoviacin, like all the strongest antibiotics, like every 6 hours. Like it was crazy.
You had mentioned you have a high tolerance for pain. What's the pain? What's going on? Pain wise.
Pain wise, I'm fine. They have like it's more of like a comfortability thing with like the antibiotics. You can taste it in your mouth, so everything you eat is just gross. You know. I've had like a lot of surgeries in the past like 10 days. So as soon as I
really.
Oh yeah, I've had a lot. So I had a couple at Launchstuhl. I already had a couple in Germany.
Yeah.
And then I'm only at Launchstuhl for like 5 days, and then I get to Walter Reed, and I'm having a couple there. So I'd lost a lot of blood. So I was losing blood. So I had to get like 2 bags of blood, and so that was like it was just a whole world thing. My mom's freaking out.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to. Because so your mom and is it your younger sister?
Yeah, my sister didn't come. She's in college.
Okay.
So just my mom.
So your mom comes and she stays with you the whole time.
Yeah.
Are you her oldest?
Yeah.
Okay. So are you her only boy?
Yes.
Okay. So you're her favorite, just
yeah.
kidding. But you're her baby boy,
yeah.
and she's seen you go through all this kind of stuff. What is she telling you about, looking back, what is she saying this is doing to her?
I think she was just like talking to the nurses and just making sure they're, like she knew she was keeping in the loop, because they'll come in and do some stuff, and then like she wants to know like what's going on, But yeah, like I didn't look good. Like I remember she saying that, like I was like super pale.
Is she worried at any point? Was she worried I'm gonna lose him?
No, I mean, honestly, I don't really know. I'm very free spirited, and I didn't think I was gonna die. As weird as that sounds, but I'm pretty stubborn too. I'm a Taurus, so. But I did think every time that I was going back to surgery that I was gonna lose my leg.
Okay, so
you know what I mean?
So you're bracing yourself for waking up and not seeing your leg.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I thought that was for sure something that was very in the cards. I know that the infection was like spreading, and she kept saying that it was like really close to my bone. And
right, which is when they gotta get it out of there.
Yeah, because once it gets in your bone.
Are the doctors reminding you, or the surgeon, every time before you go under, like, hey, this is a reality, this something like this could...
I think the nurses were doing it more than anything, and they like to keep you really calm in the surgeries, so...
Are you awake for some of them?
No.
Or you're always under? Okay.
No, you're always under, but I usually make it to, like, the operating room, and I'm, like, just acting a fool back there, but... So eventually, I don't know what it was, but eventually it subsided, and the after effects is I have no muscle, my nerve, my peroneal nerve, or my deep peroneal nerve, basically, which operates the lifting of your foot.
Okay.
And like basically lifting and pushing. I have no lift. My muscle is gone.
And
so
you're right-footed and right-handed and everything.
Yeah. So I have no lift, and at the top of my foot's numb. All this stuff's going on. So I just got back to Walter Reed because I've been planning on having this surgery for a couple months. I have what's called a ligament transfer, where they basically cut the back of my leg, took a ligament out of the back of my gastroc, which is the back of your calf, and swung it around to the front.
Because you're not going to need that ligament in the back anymore?
Oh, well, you have like a bunch. You have
okay, so it's like a spare, essentially?
Yeah, it's spare.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a spare tire.
Yeah.
So they swung it around to the front and hooked it in with the nerve, using the same nerve, basically, and they're just trying to stabilize it and see if I can get any movement whatsoever, lift into that, because I don't have to wear a brace, basically, because I need a big, like, huge brace called Nideo to run.
So they're saying first of all, have you been mostly in a wheelchair for the last 9 months, a year, or?
Yeah, I skipped that part. So I didn't start walking until January, and the injury was in July.
Okay, and you didn't start walking because it was too painful to think about, or?
Yeah, I couldn't.
Okay, so had you not done any? What is there physical
therapy?
therapy?
I'm doing all the physical therapy
Uh-huh.
every single time. 5 days a week at the MATC. They are.
What's that?
At the MATC is, so it's a little different. I don't exactly know what it stands for. I feel like I should because I've been there so long. So you have your PT clinic and then you have your MATC.
Is this all at Walter Reed?
It's all at Walter Reed.
Have you been there straight since the injury, or have you been going back?
I went back for Christmas, and then I went back. I left in April.
Okay.
And I'm now just back in July.
Right.
July 15th.
So a majority of your time has been at Walter Reed the
Yeah,
last year, essentially, once you got here.
Oh yeah, I've been here for a while.
But they're doing physical therapy off-site, or?
No, so I was doing physical therapy down at Fort Bragg when I
okay,
left.
okay.
But while I was up here, I was doing what's called physical therapy with MATC, which is more for wounded warriors, extreme cases, guys that like really need like that aggressive PT.
So you're seeing guys, literally amputees, people that have lost one or both legs or arms, or?
Yeah, all kinds of. I mean, it's definitely. It's an eye opener when you get in there with those guys. You know.
Yeah.
They're all guys. They're just normal people.
Right.
That just had some bad luck, or whatever. But the ladies in there, man, they're troopers. Like, to put up with us, because we're just a bunch of infantrymen, mainly, that are just wild and just do crazy stuff.
It takes a special
it takes a special woman.
Uh-huh.
It really does, yeah. But they do a really good job, and their hours are probably insane. Early mornings and then like late afternoons, and they're just constantly just funneling us in, because the session lasts about an hour, and I'm doing 5 times a week.
At any point, A, are you mad at her, or B, are you ready to quit?
No, I'm never ready to quit.
Okay.
I'll never quit. But I get frustrated, and they know.
Are you frustrated at her or at your body?
Well, it's
or at
more,
the situation?
It's just painful. It's just
okay.
painful.
Okay.
Like, because like right now I'm working on, the hardest part is like, before I can really do any real PT, is straightening out my leg.
Mm-hmm.
I can't straighten out my leg, so that's like number one thing I gotta do, is straighten out my leg, so then I can start doing some exercises to get some strength, some mobility.
And there's all this probably scar tissue built up that you gotta get through in order to straighten it out in the first place. So.
Yeah, so it's that right there is a battle. So yeah, they're always trying to stretch out my leg, and I'm just like not loving it.
Right.
So.
But and the inside, knowing it's necessary, like you have to do that to get to the point.
No, I'm very determined to straighten out my leg. I won't leave this place until I'm straight, like my leg's straight, 100%.
Now, during this whole recovery period, do they have you on some sort of desk assignment, or is the Army just saying focus on?
No.
Okay.
So what it's called is the WTU. It's just the Wounded Warrior Transition Unit.
Okay.
And our sole focus is to recover.
Okay.
We don't have a job. We don't do.
Your recovery is your job.
Recovery is your job. That's our number one.
Is that everybody?
That's everybody.
Okay. Once you hit Walter Reed, you're in the WTU, or?
When you become outpatient.
Okay.
They'll kind of pick you up. They visited me when I was inpatient and stuff. But like I did. He's just like, it was kind of weird. Yeah, the guy walks in. He's like, "Hey, I'm your squad leader." I'm like, "Okay." Like, what's going on here? Like, it's like you got this like full bird colonel coming in. He's like, "Hey, I'm your brigade commander." And I'm like, "All right."
And is he assigned to Fort Bragg, or is he?
No. This was here.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like you keep in mind this. So, the whole time I was injured from Germany till like. What is it? October 1st is when I finally got released. So like July basically till October I was like in and out inpatient. I didn't shave.
Yeah, I noticed you got a little bit of.
I mean, I got a little
something
stash,
right here, but
it's frowned upon for the infantry. They don't.
Yeah. I get it.
We usually go full facial, like just like shave everywhere. But I didn't shave while I was inpatient because I didn't get my hair cut.
Right.
I didn't, like, my mom begged me, so I got my hair cut down at the Walter Reed. They have a barber shop
Okay.
in the hospital. They, like, mailed me down. But yeah, I had, like, this big, like, nasty, like, just full Manchu, like, it was just gross. And then my hair was just, like, it was bad.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah,
You're focused elsewhere.
yeah, but once I saw, like, the staff sergeants and, like, my brigade commander coming in, I was like, okay, I probably should.
I gotta clean this thing
Yeah,
up.
the next time I saw him, he's like, he didn't even know who I was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that was really it. And like I said, now I'm just this ligament transfer.
Are they giving you any timeline on here's where you could be 3, 6
We
months?
won't know
from
the results of if it's a good, like if it really worked 3 months until 3 months.
Okay.
So I don't see my doctor again until Tuesday.
All right.
And we haven't
So
even
around
done
Halloween.
Yeah, we haven't done the unveiling of the scars.
When was the last surgery?
Last Wednesday.
So today's Saturday.
Yeah,
So
like
when?
8 days.
Okay.
8 days, I think. Yeah, something like that.
And how much longer are you here before you get to go
Probably
home?
about a month, and then I'll go back down to Fort Bragg, and then I gotta come back up in like October. So.
And is it your mom coming with you every time?
No, well, I mean, she came for the big surgeries,
Mhm.
and like when I was like down in the dumps,
Right.
you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What emotionally? What was your low point?
I'm a pretty positive guy.
Uh-huh.
The lowest part. They have these like I don't know if it was like my lowest part. I mean, I knew I wasn't gonna play soccer again, which kind of sucked.
Right.
But I'm 29.
Yeah, you're getting up there. I mean,
Yeah, I'm getting up there, so I was kind of like, okay.
you can still
know.
coach.
Yeah, exactly.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah, so the lowest point is they have these vac tubes or whatever. These vac tubes that like suck the blood
Right.
out. You know, keep all that stuff going. And one of the ladies ripped that thing out of my thigh. Oh my
And
god,
you're-
dude! It was like this
Yeah.
deep. It was so bad.
Did she know what she was doing?
I think it was wrapped around a nerve. And it was
Oh,
just in a bad
okay.
spot. And I told her like it was like just to touch like the outside of the tube. I was like, hey, you better go get like your boss
Yeah.
to go
Yeah.
pull this thing out because I
Like,
don't trust
slowly.
you. Yeah. Oh man, I was bawling. That was the only time I
Uh-huh.
cried was when they removed that tube. I hate those things. I actually woke up with one of those in the back of my leg.
From this last surgery?
Yeah.
Did flashbacks?
Yeah, I had
You know,
flashbacks. I was like, because that was one of the questions I asked him if I needed one of those, and he's like, no, we shouldn't need one. And then, sure enough, I get one, of course, because it's just my luck. But this, I mean, I've had like 5 now, so I guess I got used to it, and it didn't get wrapped around a nerve, so I got lucky. But that was really like the most painful out of everything. Like as crazy as that sounds, like that blood tube like deep in my thigh when they removed that was the most painful thing. Like
When was it? Was this in Germany? Was it?
This was in Germany, yeah.
Okay,
so
yeah.
like this like little like she's probably like 22, you
Oh.
know, like a student nurse.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm
He was
like
practicing on
yeah,
you.
yeah. I was like, yo, go get your
Yeah.
boss or
Right.
whatever. Get out of here. Like you're not touching.
And you don't
this.
speak good enough German,
Yeah.
really. To,
I just know Schmerzen. Schmerzen means pain.
Okay.
So when they came in, I'd be like Schmerzen.
Anytime you see her,
Yeah.
that's what you're saying.
Yeah. So it was that was some crazy times.
What do you hope your recovery looks like?
I want to run.
Okay.
I'd like to stay in RTD, which means like return to duty. My biggest goal is to run. I was a big runner. Obviously, playing soccer,
Yeah.
you have to run. So
Yeah.
I just want to have a healthy life, and I feel like if I can't run, that's gonna inhibit
Impact it. Yeah.
and impact my life like for the long term. And since I enjoy running so much, that would be what I want the most. If I could run brace free and pain free.
Right.
I mean, obviously everyone's got their bumps and their sores, and you know.
Are they projecting like would full recovery if you can't really lift your foot properly? I mean, are they saying you could get back to?
I don't think I'll get
What
back to 100.
percent?
Yeah, I don't know what the 100%. Like 100%, I don't think I'll get like full lift like I ever had. But if I can get some sort of lift. Like, I don't know how much I would need, but just enough to where I could run would be fine with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to wear like a big bulky brace that does like the lifting for me. It's really weird. It's like we have to like land, and it like kind of springs the top of our foot so it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
catch, and it's like big. It's like almost as big as what I'm wearing right now. So
Yeah.
it's just, and I have to wear these shoes, and it's like it goes on my shoe, and it's really tight, and it's just not something I'm really super excited about wearing. So, but if I have to, I will.
And timeline, they haven't told you?
Nah, I would
They
say
need to see what happens here with this one, right?
I would say like by October we'll have a good. They're gonna check the nerves. They'll do what's called an EMG in October, and that's when they'll kind of like check to see how the nerves are feeling, how everything's going, what the scar tissue looks like. But I would say like Christmas, probably honestly like April. If I'm running by April, that'd be a dream.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, we might have to sponsor some sort of Sport Clips 5K or something.
Yeah,
at Fort Bragg or
whatever,
do something.
Man. I know, because the Army 10 miler is coming up,
Yeah.
and that would be cool. I want to do some.
Well, let's take it easy before we get to the 10 miler.
No, they have like incumbents that we can ride, like bike rides and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, end goal would be to like run some races or something like that. You know?
Well, speaking of races, so Darlington.
Yes,
you are going to take us up on the offer. You're going to come down and hang out with us at the Darlington race. Are you bringing a buddy? You bringing your sister, your mom?
I might bring my buddy. We usually kind of come down there.
Is this a troublemaker we were talking about, the mascot?
It is.
Okay, all right.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, I might have to vet him a little better.
You can vet him all you want. He's
yeah.
a good dude. It's just, certain circumstances and poor judgment.
This is an off-camera story that we actually. I think the people that watch it on YouTube, this story will be on there because I think I was capturing it then.
Oh, okay.
What's his name?
His name's Joey Gillespie.
All right, Joey. You're on notice that if you come to the NASCAR Darlington race, I got my eyes on you.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I'm not gonna.
He's gonna have a mullet, so I don't know how sports. We could. You know what? He would be down to clean the sides.
Okay, we might have to. We're gonna have some stylists there, so
we could give him some lightning bolts on the side of his mullet.
Maybe a number 11 and a number
he
20.
Would do.
Yeah, we'll do Denny Hamlin's number. Yeah. And we'll do Eric Jones' number. So in fact, I got a Denny Hamlin shirt for you right here.
Awesome.
So that one's going to be for you. Feel free, and we'll get you some more swag when you come.
Sorry.
But so we got that. I want, first of all, I encourage people to look up what Walter Reed is all about. I'll try to put some links to the Alethea Foundation, to Walter Reed, in the podcast so people can go find out about it. I mean, what you see every time you go in there, how are you emotionally handling just seeing the wounded? That's got to take a toll.
I think it's like being like we kind of like all kind of went through. Maybe we didn't go to basic at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we never served together in the same unit or like in the same combat zone or any of that kind of stuff. You still look at them as like your brother.
Yeah.
And you want to help them. And it's just like it's something that you'll never get used to seeing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just you don't want to treat them any differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's still
because they don't want to be treated
exactly, and that's the biggest thing. You don't ever. You want, unless they ask you for like some help or because they're hard-headed, man.
Okay, that's good advice.
Yeah, just kind of you can ask if they want some help, but like don't
insist.
Yeah, don't insist. Yeah, because they're hard-headed, man. But they're genuinely good guys.
Yeah,
and it is kind of hard to see them all beat up and stuff. But
have you developed some friendships and relationships
I have.
while you've been there?
So I went on a bike ride. I got with Wounded Warrior Project. And we did 30 miles, 15 miles one day, and then 15 miles.
Are you pedaling with one leg? I mean,
this is when I had. This is before this operation when I was wearing the brace.
Okay, so you could.
I could walk at this time.
Oh, all right.
So this was in April. So I was like as good as I was probably gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't really running.
Yeah.
I was kind of like.
There was more to be done.
Yeah, there was still. I was in between phase. But we went on bike rides. All over, like Annapolis, and then we went to some park out here. But we got to meet the president and.
Everybody did?
Yeah.
That was involved? Cool.
Yeah, and so I met a couple really, really, really cool guys. They had some, awful injuries, a lot of IEDs.
Yeah.
Like a couple lost limbs. One guy he got shot in the leg, and he actually has the same injury I do, but it's combat related.
The 1 in a million.
Yeah.
So you met the other.
Yeah, I met the other guy, but it's combat related. Right. Yeah, and he can't lift his foot either.
Mm-hmm. Wow, so that's a great connection for you.
Oh yeah, that was the thing that, and then there's another guy. He got shot, and he can't lift or push down.
Mm-hmm.
And
so how do you check in on each other? See how the progress is going?
One of them came and saw. Both of them actually came and saw me when I was inpatient.
Awesome.
After the surgery. They're still local. The other guys that I met, Joey and Justin, one's down in Georgia and one's in Florida. But they're super, super stellar dudes.
Yeah.
Like, they crush it. They're like, one guy, at one time, his prosthetic kept slipping off.
Uh-huh.
So he took it off and he was pedaling with one leg.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I looked
pouring
back.
Sweat.
Yeah, pouring sweat. I looked back and I was like, holy crap.
He,
like,
he took it off. It didn't fall off, right?
No.
It's laying in the middle of the road
And
somewhere.
I was like, have you been doing that the whole time? Like, I just looked back at him and then he's like, yeah, and he just passes me. I'm just like,
that's gotta hurt.
No, I let him go. I was just like letting him go, man. I was cruising, but because it wasn't like a race, it was just like we would do like a set amount of miles.
Okay.
And call it.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't really pass the incumbents. The incumbents are the guys that do hand bikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Well, so when I have Sport Clips people on the podcast, I always ask them 10 questions to end the interview. But even though you're a Sport Clips client, you're a soldier, and I have 3 questions when I have soldiers on. Okay. So this is how we end it. All right. So question number 1: when they make the movie based on your life, who's going to be the title character? Who's going to be the lead? What actor do you want playing your role?
Ooh.
You can pick anybody. Any of the Chris's. Pratt, those guys. Helmsworth.
Yeah.
Pine.
I know who I'd want. I can't think of. He's got his son, Eastwood's son.
Clint Eastwood's son.
Yeah.
Is an actor.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I can't think of his first name though.
All right. Well,
he's decent.
Yeah.
Okay. He's coming around.
All right.
Yeah.
So he's an up and comer with a great pedigree.
Yeah.
So Clint Eastwood's son. Okay. Question number 2: what should we call the movie? Title movie for us. The story of your life. What would it be called?
I'd say like Never Give Up.
Never Give Up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question 3. Last question. And which band is doing the title song for the movie?
Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam? Nice.
Yeah, Pearl
I
Jam.
love me some Eddie Vedder, especially because he's a huge Cubs fan.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yet another reason you're my favorite client of all time. North Carolina, a big Tar Heel fan.
Oh yeah.
Say Sport Clips. You've been to the HI 102 store. You're coming to Darlington.
Yep.
Obviously, soldier in the Army. All these sorts of things. This has been eye-opening. Thank you. Best wishes on your recovery. When this race happens, I want Sport Clips involved somehow. So you have my contact. When you're doing your 10 mile or
you guys can sponsor
whatever,
me, maybe.
we're gonna do something.
I think you have to have for certain races. From what I'm told, I'm an amateur. Like I've never done. I mean, I ran cross country in college for that year I was there, but like I never have ran like a marathon or anything. But apparently you have to get a sponsorship to do certain stuff.
We will figure something out.
That'd be
so
cool.
We will we'll put our money where our mouth is and where your foot is when you're fully recovered.
Yeah.
So but hopefully Joey and you.
Yeah, without the
Darlington.
crutches.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get
no
rid
crutches
of
by September, by Labor Day weekend. You
hopefully.
think? Okay.
Hopefully.
All right. I won't judge you if I see them. So just so you know, yeah, if you do
maybe
have to
a
bring
minor
them,
setbacks.
okay, yeah, no, we're gonna be fine. We'll get you there. We're gonna have a fun time. But obviously, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And your heart for this country. We certainly support you guys and love America. But what you guys are up to and what you've done and your recovery and what you see when you go to Walter Reed and all that kind of stuff is something else. So appreciate you, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And tune in next week for another episode, everybody. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, that was awesome, dude.
Thanks.
Thank you, man. That was great. That was awesome.
Yeah, for sure, man.
That was
cool.
fantastic.
I like the setup, man. It's cool.
Yeah. And no, dude, perfect timing. 45 minutes. That's my sweet spot. So, you're good. Taylor. Clinker, right?
CLI. I got a buddy with a mullet,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a funny story, but it's like, it could be a movie. I think it's somebody bought a movie rights to it, but it's hilarious. He went to what are they called? The craft brewery, like everyone was there, and they're just like a bunch of craft beers are selling or whatever, and they got tickets, VIP tickets, so they got in like an hour earlier, and he got way too drunk, and he passed out in the stairwell.
Oh my. At this
Posh
kind of event. Yeah.
At this posh kind of event,
Uh-huh.
and it's at the Charlotte Knights Stadium, which is in the middle of downtown,
Yeah.
which is like the AAA affiliate of the White Sox.
Mhm.
So he's on his way out, and it's closed. It's like 7 p.m., 8 p.m., and he walks by, and it says the mascot changing room, and it's unlocked. And he puts on this big green, and he puts on this big green dragon.
Oh my gosh.
And he walks out.
No
Yes,
way.
and he walks out
Drunk
of the
as a skunk.
Oh yeah, he walks out of the stadium. I think he took one of the walkies that the security had or whatever, so he could like talk to him. And I mean, there was like no harm. Like he was just like, I mean, he just couldn't resist, that urge. And so his buddy's still downtown, and he called him, and he meets him at a bar, and he comes in looking like his name's Homer.
Oh, jeez.
Homer the dragon, a big green dragon.
So he walked out of the stadium with it?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
He was like fist pounding cops on the sidewalk, taking pictures with kids.
Meanwhile,
like
no
one knows that my buddy Joey
my
is
gosh.
wearing this stuff.
Yeah, because you gotta, that's an authentic, like legitimate, only that person is allowed to wear it, and here he has commandeered it.
Oh yeah. So yeah. Anyways, he goes home, and I don't know how he got caught, but I mean, he got like. They tried to charge him with like breaking and entering, and he hired a good lawyer, thankfully, and he got just 1 year of probation. But
yeah, and the movie rights.
yeah, and he's got movie rights, so if someone wants to buy that movie,
That's great.
It's really funny, like, because I see like his side of it, like the dude's like just. What just happened
Right.
here?
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
he's a
Have better
kid,
security
right.
and check your
Exactly.
stairwells.
Right. Oh, that's terrific.